Change is here. Not gonna come, it's here. Carry on. It's been a long time coming. I do not own the rights to this music. Facebook, TikTok, or any YouTube. I don't own the rights to this music. Sam Cooke, a change is gonna come. Well, the change is here. We are living in the change now. The change is here. Ooh, why did I come on today, boy? I was, it was on my heart and on my mind to come on today because I knew everyone would be sitting around, for their celebration of what this day may mean to them. But it's so many other things that we should marvel about. And that's why I wanted to talk about the wonders of the world today and how these wonders of the world are so marveled throughout history and time now, because even wonders of the world change. You know what I'm saying? There's different wonders of the world. And certain people only have 7 wonders of the world. We actually hold 10 that the prophet brought for us, 10 wonders of the world that are so beautiful and something we can marvel over and be so proud of to be a part of, and that we're connected to through our lineages, through our bloodlines, through our ancestry, whichever, we can tie ourselves back. These are great tools and great ways in order to trace yourself back, to trace your lineage back, no matter where you may come into this paradigm from which way. This is a universal message. It's a message that's for all nations all over the world, not just for some, but for all people all over the world. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. To give some honors and let's give honors to that. Honors to the things that have been a part of our lineage, of our ancestry, and in everything we do. And so that's why I wanted to come on and speak about this today. We're going to give honors to our words from the prophet, our divine constitution and bylaws. I want to give honors to that. So, and merry day to each and every one of you. I hope you're having an amazing day today. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We turn to the east as going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right with our heels touching one another, standing on our square. Islam, repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam, Islam. Now I'd like to first rise and give the highest praises to our Father, God Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Also giving the highest praises to the Mother Allah, the Mother of virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Got to give honors, high praises to both. Giving high holy honors to our illustrious and divine prophet, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who brought us this message of love and continues through the spirit of Prophet Noble Drew Ali to still reign high today. Islam, I would like to rise and give honors to all the illustrious prophets for all the wonderful works that they brought unto us. Islam, Islam. So today we're talking about these wonders of the world. We're going to start in chapter 47. I'm going to give you guys some descriptions of these wonders of the world, and then we're going to talk about the wonders of the world that the prophet brought for us to marvel over and really be proud to have and really call our own. Islam, Islam. So I'm going to start in chapter 47 of this amazing pamphlet. Excuse me, my pamphlet's falling apart. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guidance of his Father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his Father God Allah. Islam. So I'm going to start in chapter 47 first before we go into anything. Islam. So in the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 47, Egypt, the capital, Egypt with a comma, the capital empire of the dominion of Africa. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa, the dividing of the land between the Father and the Son, the dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. In later years, many of these brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren, who sojourned from the land of Canaan, seeking new homes. Their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa, across the great Atlantis, even unto the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands, before the great earthquake, which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. The river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. Also, the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaoh of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extends eastward from the river Nile westward across the great Atlantic. It was used for trade and transportation. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nation from the holy land of Canaan. Which your ancient forefathers were, you are today, without a doubt or contradiction. There is no one who is able to change man from the descendant nature of his forefathers, unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. These holy and divine laws are from the prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the uniting of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. These laws are to be strictly preserved by the members of all of the temples of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science of America. The Moorish Holy Temple of Science. My apologies. That they will learn to open their meeting and guide it according to the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Major Temple. I, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to warn all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before the great and lawful day, which is sure to come, which is here. Time has come when every nation must worship under its own vine and fig tree, and every tongue must confess his own. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery, due to the fact that they honored not the creed and principles of their forefathers. This is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America, who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father, and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing of. Islam, that is Egypt, the capital empire of the dominion of Africa. This is why we're talking about the wonders of the world, because we have so much to be proud of as a people. And when you realize that you're not these labels of being Negro, black, colored, Ethiopian, all these labels that they want to put on you. And you can go back and trace yourself to find the royalty, the nobility of where you come from, and why you should act in a certain way. Your acts, your deeds, and your words should all align with Allah, should all align with a higher essence of who you are because of where you come from. Like, you know how they would say you would embarrass the family if you did certain things? Well, we embarrassing the family by acting in the way and taking on these names and labels that had nothing to do with us. So it takes us away from those things that we should be celebrating. We're so quick to celebrate everything that they have that has done nothing but been the demise of our people. When there's so many wonders of the world that we can marvel over and be proud of and bring celebration into ourselves. Islam. I want to come from chapter 47. Now, I'm going to go mainly in the Quran before I go into these marvels of the world. So now I want to come out of chapter 43 of the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. And in chapter 43, it's the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 43, holy instructions from the Prophet, the insufficiency of knowledge. And I'm going to go to instruction 15 through 17. 15. If thou wouldest mount onto her throne, first bow thyself at her footstool. If thou wouldest arrive at the knowledge of her, first inform thyself of thy own ignorance. So her, when they're saying her, and we're talking from a truth perspective. This is talking about truth and a higher essence and arriving at this truth. That's why this is an insufficiency of knowledge. So if your cup is filled with ignorance, no truth can get in it. If your cup is filled with ignorance. More worth is she than pearls. Therefore seek her carefully. The emerald and the sapphire and the ruby are as dirt beneath her feet. Therefore pursue her manfully. The way to her is labor. Attention is the pilot that must conduct thee into her port. But weary not on the way, for when art arrived at her, the toil shall be to thee for pleasure. Islam. So that truth that we're pursuing, because that's all that is searching for is truth. That's the end. Its end in search is just truth. And that's why we want to be more sufficient with our knowledge and not insufficient. This is why it's important that we know what to marvel over and stop marveling over things that have nothing to do with us. Islam. Because we have things that are a part of who we are that we can marvel over. So let's find that truth. Let's search for it. If we're ignorant, truth can't get in our cup. It's going to just constantly be filled with ignorance. Now we're going to go to chapter 37. I know I'm jumping around, but I really want to be able to talk about this before the day continues. Islam. So I wanted to talk on chapter 37. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet. Holy instructions from the Prophet, the breath of heaven. Some very important. All these instructions are important. And the breath of heaven, how can we connect with this breath of heaven? How can we connect with it? We have to raise our thoughts to infinite wisdom. And this connection is inside of yourself. This connection that goes on with this breath of heaven is within you. It's within you, your universal self. You can take 15 minutes to become intimate. To become intimate with self. To become intimate with this breath. Because even this breath of heaven is important to the marvels of the world, the wonders of the world. Because even to marvel, the breath you can take when you look at these things and you see like what was left for you, these footprints and the beautifulness that was left. Man, you'll take a deep breath for it. Like it's just such a beautiful breath of heaven that exists. Okay, not yet, TikTok, not yet. I know y'all want to come up there. Islam. So the breath of heaven is within yourself. So vaunt not the body because it was first formed, nor of thy brain, because therein thy soul resideth. Is not the master of the house more honorable than its walls? The ground must be prepared before corn can be planted. The potter must build his furnace before he can make his porcelain. As the breath of heaven saith unto the waters of the deep, this way shall thy billows roll, and no other. Thus high and no higher shall they raise their fury. So let thy spirit, O man, actuate and direct thy flesh. So let it repress its wilderness. The flesh is not your operating system at all. Thy body is as the globe of the earth, thy bones the pillars that sustain it on its basis. As the ocean giveth rise to springs, whose waters return again into its bosom through the rivers, so runneth thy life, thy outwards, and so runneth it into place again. So the journey did not start today. Your journey didn't start today. This is why we should look at the wonders of the world, because your journey didn't start today. You have to trace yourself back. Do not both retain their course forever? Behold, the same Allah ordained them. Is not thy nose the channel to perfumes, thy mouth the path to delicacies? Are not thy eyes the sentinels to watch for thee? Yet how often are they unable to distinguish truth from error? Keep thy soul in moderation. Teach thy spirit to be attentive to its good. So shall these, its ministers, be always to thee conveyance of truth. Thy hand, is it not a miracle? Is there in the creation aught like unto it? Wherefore was it given thee, but that thou mightest stretch it out to the assistance of thy brother? Why of all things living art thou alone made capable of blushing? The world shall read thy shame upon thy face. Therefore do nothing shameful. Fear and dismay, who rob thy countenance of its ruddy splendor? Avoid guilt, and thou shalt know that fear is beneath thee, that dismay is unnamely. Wherefore to thee alone speak shadows in the vision of the pillow. Reverence them, for know that dreams are from on high. Islam. Islam, Islam. Though man alone can't speak, wonder at thy glorious prerogative and pay to him who gave it to thee a rational and welcome praise, teaching thy children wisdom, instructing the offspring of thy loins in piety. And piety is the quality of being religious or reverent. But I'm going to say something about this chapter because lately, as I, this ascension is serious, and this wisdom, these things that are happening, let me tell you, these dreams that are coming from on high have been something else. And I don't just dream. Like, when I dream, my dreams are very meaningful, and they're going to come if it's really something behind it, a message. But I just don't dream. Every day I don't dream. So when they do come, I pay close attention. So I came to this because, whoa, this is through dreams. This is why I was led to speak on these wonders of the world through these dreams I've been having lately. So I want to get into talking about these wonders of the world before I end with the last chapter in our Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, of the Moorish Science Temple of America. And I want to talk about some of the wonders of the world from the European perspective. Islam, Mr. Church, Islam, TikTok, Islam, Facebook and YouTube and TikTok, and all the other social media platforms. We're going to talk about these wonders of the world because, it's all, I always want to know, well, what does, ever since Chat GPT has come out, like, I want to know what it has to say about these things. Right? So I'm going in asking it about these 7 wonders of the world. Well, over time, the 7 wonders have changed. Because even now, there's new seven wonders of the world. They're not the same ones from the ancient times, but there's seven wonders of the world that are here. Some are here today, some have been destroyed, of their seven wonders of the world. But then I want to talk about our 10 wonders of the world that Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought and what we should be marveling over, right? Because we get caught up in a lot of their wonders of the world. Now, some of ours are still intertwined in there, right? Some of them still intertwined. So there are two lists that people commonly refer to when discussing the seven wonders of the world. We're going to start talking about these seven wonders. But we're also going to be able to relate these seven wonders to go back to that Holy Quran also when we really start talking about some of these seven wonders of the world. Okay. In the first set, the Great Pyramid of Giza, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, the statue of Zeus at Olympia, the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, the Mausoleum at the Halicarnassus, the Colossus of Rhodes, and the Pharaoh's Lighthouse of Alexandria. The new seven wonders of the world, the Great Wall of China, Chichen Itza, Petra, Machu Picchu, Christ the Redeemer, Colosseum, and the Taj Mahal. It's important to note that the only one that's from an ancient time is the Great Pyramid of Giza, which still stands from the original list. The new seven wonders of the world was created in 2007 through a global poll. See, they changed it. So when I asked ChatGPT about these, I wanted it to give me, a little summary breakdown of these wonders of the world. We're going to talk about the Great Pyramid of Giza, located on the Giza Plateau, which most of you guys know this, I know, on the west bank of the Nile River in northern Egypt. Now, I just talked about Egypt, the dominion of Africa, right? It's the oldest and largest of the three pyramids in Giza Pyramid Complex. It was built as a tomb for the 4th dynasty Egyptian pharaoh Khufu, who was completed around 2560 BC. The Great Pyramid was the tallest man-made structure in the world for over 3,800 years. It is a massive structure composed of over 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. The pyramid's original height was 481 feet. But due to the loss of its outer casing stones, it now stands at 455 feet. It shows a picture of the inside of these chambers too that goes on. And I was just having a conversation with the brother building with him last night on some amazing things about these what are they? The files that are being released. All of these things have been being done for so many years and over time. But they got it from somewhere. They got it from somewhere to do these testings and studies and all these things they've done. So the Great Pyramid is a remarkable feat of engineering and construction, and its precise alignment with the cardinal directions is still a source of wonder and debate. The pyramid's interior contains a series of chambers and passageways, including the King's Chamber, which houses Khufu's sarcophagus, I don't think I said that right, and the Queen's Chamber, which is believed to have been intended for Khufu's wife. The Great Pyramid is a testament to the skill and ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians, and it continues to fascinate and inspire people around the world. It's a symbol of Egypt's rich history and culture, and it stands as a reminder of the enduring power of human achievement. If you want to know more about that, if you want to know more about the Great Pyramids, you can always you can look up Wikipedia. This one has a website called numrade.com. www.numrade.com. I'll put it in there. That's what you want to look at, where this source came from. That's where it came from. So then I asked her to explain the Gardens of Babylon. Like, what is the Gardens of Babylon? Explain what those are like. So the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Well, let me stop. Let me put this here first. www. of Zod's MUMPRADE.com. That's right. That's where that one came from. Okay. And as I said, when you heard me read in chapter 47, it tells us that Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. So even tracing ourselves back to that beautiful wonder of the world, right? So the Hanging Gardens of Babylon are one of the most I know what this is. Enigmatic of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Unlike the Great Pyramid of Giza, which still stands today, the Hanging Gardens have been lost to history. The mystery of the Hanging Gardens, the existence of the Hanging Garden, is a subject of much debate among historians and archaeologists. While ancient texts describe them as magnificent feats of engineering, no definitive archaeological evidence has been found to confirm their existence. Peep this now. The legend. According to legend, the gardens were built by King Nebuchadnezzar II of Babylon in the 6th century BC as a gift to his wife, Amytis, who longed for the lush greenery of her homeland, Media. The gardens were said to be a series of tiered gardens raising high into the air, filled with exotic plants and trees. Water was supposedly pumped up from the Euphrates River to irrigate the gardens. Theories and debates. Some scholars believe that the Hanging Gardens may have been a myth or poetic description of a different type of garden, perhaps a rooftop garden or a series of terrace gardens. Others argue that gardens may have existed but were located in a different city, such as Nineveh. All right, so wait. Okay, despite the lack of concrete evidence, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon continue to captivate the imagination. They remain as a symbol of ancient wonder and a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient world. So that one can't even really be, that's just said to be what that was, but there's no real evidence of it. But we start tracing ours back, our wonders of the world. There's evidence that's still there today. And we in 2024, about to be 2025. Islam. So I asked about Zeus at Olympia. The statue of Zeus at Olympia was a colossal masterpiece of ancient Greek sculpture created by the renowned artist Phidias around 435 BC. It was housed with the Temple of Zeus at Olympia, Greece, and was considered one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. The statue depicted Zeus, the supreme god of Greek mythology, seated on a magnificent throne. It was crafted using a technique known as chrysophentoning. Some of these words, I'm going to be honest, can't pronounce them. Which involves covering a wooden framework with ivory plates for the skin and gold plates for the clothing, hair, and beard. Okay. That was a technique used for covering, a wooden framework with ivory plates for the skin, gold plates for the clothing, the hair, and the beard. Wow. The combination of materials created a stunning and lifelike effect. Zeus was portrayed as a majestic and powerful figure with a serene expression and commanding presence. In his right hand, he held a figure of Nike, the goddess of victory. Just do it. And in his left hand, he held a scepter. Islam. Thank you for those. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the gifts. He held a scepter topped with an eagle. The throne was ornately decorated with intricate carvings and precious stones. Unfortunately, the statue of Zeus of Olympia was destroyed in a fire in the 5th century AD. However, its legacy lives on through ancient descriptions and artistic representations. It remains a testament to the artistic and technical brilliance of the ancient Greeks and continues to inspire awe and wonder. I asked to explain the temple of Artemis at Ephesus. The temple of Artemis at Ephesus was one of the most magnificent structures of the ancient world. and was considered one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, located in ancient Greek city of Ephesus. Now is Sokuk, Turkey. It was dedicated to the goddess Artemis, who was particularly revered in this region. The temple was renowned for its immense size and architectural grandeur. It was an Ionic temple characterized by its distinctive columns with fluted shafts and ornate capitals. The temple complex was adorned with numerous sculptures and reliefs depicting mythological scenes and celebrating the goddess Artemis. Unfortunately, the temple's history was marked by destruction and rebuilding. It was originally constructed in the 6th century BC, but was destroyed by a fire in 356 BC, allegedly set by a man named Herostratus, who sought fame through the act. The temple was subsequently rebuilt on a grander scale, incorporating new architectural and artistic elements. Despite its grandeur and resilience, the temple suffered further damage over the centuries. It was eventually destroyed by the Goths in the 3rd century AD and never fully rebuilt. Today, only scattered ruins and fragments remain, but the temple of Artemis at Ephesus continues to inspire awe and admiration for its past glory, and its enduring legacy is one of the wonders of the ancient world. Gone. Some of these are gone. You may not even be able to see the remnants of them. Right? Explain the Pharaoh's Lighthouse of Alexandria. Now, this one was it was giving me some things because it was giving me some things on this one. This lighthouse and the lighthouse and being able to see from all directions. Islam, I always say that if I never took anything from the noble temples, that was one thing I took with me that always stuck with me, that just was great knowledge to hold to myself, right? So the Pharaohs of Alexandria, also known as the Lighthouse of Alexandria, was an ancient lighthouse built by the Ptolemaic kingdom of ancient Egypt during the reign of Ptolemy II, Philadelphus, 280 to 247 BC. It was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world, and for many centuries, one of the tallest man-made structures in the world. The lighthouse was built on the island of Pharos in the harbor of Alexandria and was designed to guide ships safely into harbor at night. It was a marvel of ancient engineering, standing over 100 meters tall and consisting of three main sections. There was a square base. The foundation was a massive square structure that housed storage rooms, barracks, and other facilities. Then there was an octagonal section, which was this middle section was 8-sided and contained the machinery for operating the lighthouse. 3, the cylindrical top. The top section was cylindrical and housed the fire that produced the light. The light from the lighthouse was produced by a fire that was fueled by wood or coal. The light was intensified by mirrors, and it could be seen from a great distance, making it a valuable navigational aid for sailors. The Pharaohs of Alexandria stood over 1,500 years until it was eventually destroyed by a series of earthquakes. Natural disaster took this one out in the 14th century. However, its legacy lives on, and it continues to inspire architects and engineers around the world. The lighthouse design and construction techniques were groundbreaking for its time, and it remains a symbol of ancient technology innovation. The lighthouse. We can go on into our brothers and sisters of the they do the lighthouse all the time. The Jehovah Witness. The lighthouse is the lighthouse. Staying in the lighthouse. The lighthouse is the perfect way to say that still holds today. We're still holding on to our ancient wonders of the world. Even through different religion and faith base, we're still holding on to these wonders of the world. So we can still look at a lighthouse and still say, and look how far back that came from, and still know about a lighthouse today. Still remnants today. The Taj Mahal. Would explain this Taj Mahal to me. The Taj Mahal is a stunning white marble mausoleum located in Agra, India. It was commissioned in 1631 by the Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan to house the tomb of his beloved wife, Mumtaz Mahal. Construction was completed in 1648, and the complex was finished 5 years later. The Taj Mahal is considered one of the finest examples of Mughal's architecture, blending Indian, Persian, and Islamic architectural styles. The white marble mausoleum is the centerpiece of a 17 hectare or 42-acre complex, which includes a mosque and a guest house, and is set in formal gardens bounded on three sides by a crenellated wall. The Taj Mahal is renowned for its exquisite beauty and intricate details. The white marble is inlaid with precious stones, creating stunning patterns and designs. The dome of the mausoleum is a masterpiece of engineering design. It's considered one of the most beautiful domes in the world. The Taj Mahal is a symbol of love and devotion, and it continues to inspire awe and wonder in visitors from all over the world. It is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and considered one of the most iconic monuments in the world. You can look that up on Wikipedia. Some of the ones that I said were destroyed, they have, like, there's nothing to have no remnants of. These are, this is what it can find on it. The next one, this is something new. Christ the Redeemer, the ancient seven wonders of the world. Well, I just said Christ the Redeemer. My apologies. I wanted to know about Christ the Redeemer. This one. Christ the Redeemer is not one of the original seven wonders of the ancient world, even though I asked it that because I wanted to see if it was going to throw it up there and say it. It is, however, one of the new seven wonders of the world, a list compiled through a global poll in 2007. The iconic statue of Jesus Christ stands atop of Corcovado Mountain in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's a symbol of Christianity and a cultural icon of both Rio de Janeiro and Brazil. The statue is 30 meters, which is 98 feet tall, not including its 8-meter, 26 feet pedestal, and its arms stretch 28 meters, which are 92 feet wide. Constructed between 1922 and 1931. The statue is made of reinforced concrete and soapstone. Its design is Art Deco, and it has become a beloved landmark recognized worldwide. Then they talked about the Colosseum. The Colosseum, also known as the Flavian Amphitheater, is an iconic symbol of ancient Rome. It's one of the most famous landmarks in the world and was designated one of the new seven wonders of the world in 2007. Built between 70 and 80 AD, the Colosseum was used for gladiatorial contests, animal hunts, public takeouts. It's an engineering marvel capable of seating 50,000 spectators. The elliptical amphitheater is made of concrete and sand with a complex system of arches and vaults that support its massive structure. The Colosseum has witnessed countless spectacles throughout history, and its ruins still invoke the grandeur and power of ancient Rome. It's a testament to the Romans' architectural and engineering skills, and it continues to fascinate visitors from all over the world. Right? So, those are those seven wonders of the world that don't, some of them we can connect to, a lot of them, not our connection. Can't go back far enough. But the ones that you can, this is how you're connecting yourself. So grateful for Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So there are 10 wonders of the world that he left for us. Now, I did ask ChatGPT about some of these also, just to see what it was going to give to me. And if even through the explanation of how it was given to me, even through this document, how it can relate. And it does. It relates so well. I was like, wow, this is something. So when you say trace yourself back, masterminds can always trace themselves back. Thus we know. Boy, thus you will know. And Chat GPT, I'm gonna be honest, if it don't know, it's gonna tell you it don't know. It don't have no information on it. It won't know no information. It's not even gonna try to give you no information. All right, so we have 10 wonders of the world that the prophet brought before I go into the explanation that they gave. Which one did they give me first? Let's see. So I want to make sure it's right here so that I go into the 7. Where you at? Where you at? All right, so I'm gonna talk about the first one that he gave. Well, brought to us to let us know it was there. It's ancient, so it's always been a symbol. The all-seeing eye, which is more specifically the left eye. The star and the crescent. The star and crescent was placed in the elements by Allah as the sign of Allah's prophet being on earth. Prophet Noble Drew Ali told his followers in 1925, "Children, if I am Allah's man, Allah will hang out a sign, letting the world know that I am his man." So on the 19th of December, Islam for my birthday, my birthright, the crescent and star appeared in the elements, and the Chicago Tribune had a picture of it in the paper, which stated that Islam hung low over the Western world. Right? So that's where the prophet brought that in to tell us about this. Now, I'm going to tell you when I asked Chat GPT about this star and crescent. The crescent moon and star is a symbol commonly associated with Islam, but its origins and meanings are multifaceted. Islamic symbolism, divine guidance. The crescent moon represents the cyclical nature of time and the divine guidance provided by Allah. Light and knowledge. The star, often a 5-pointed one, symbolizes light, knowledge, and spiritual enlightenment. Our 5-pointed star represents love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The Ottoman Empire. The combination of the crescent moon and star became widely associated with Islam during the Ottoman Empire, and it has since been adopted by many Muslim majority countries. The pre-Islamic origins. Ancient Near East. The crescent moon and star were symbols used in various ancient civilizations, including the Sumerians, Babylonians, and Byzantines. They often represented celestial bodies or deities associated with the moon and planets. Ottoman adoption. The Ottoman Empire adopted the symbol and popularized its use, further associating it with Islamic identity. Cultural significance, national symbolism. The crescent moon and star are featured on the flags of many Muslim majority countries, including Turkey, Pakistan, and Malaysia. Cultural identity. It serves as a powerful symbol of Islamic culture and heritage. While the crescent moon and star is a prominent symbol in Islam, its origins and meanings extend beyond religious context. It's a versatile symbol that has been adopted and adapted by various cultures throughout history. But we could trace ourselves back to this crescent moon and star. Tracing ourselves back, it takes us back to Islam. This is how we know Islam. Islam, the original, I feel the first religion was peace. The first religion was peace. That was the first religion. Islam simply means peace. Peace being the first religion. We practice Islam, applying Islam to your life. Peace. Islam simply means peace. So we can even trace ourselves back to this wonder of the world, that all-seeing eye wonder of the world, this wonder of the world of the crescent moon and star. We can trace ourselves back. Masterminds can trace themselves back, thus they know. All praises due to Allah, and giving honors and praises to our noble prophet Drew Ali for bringing us this divine message, just divine and beautiful. Okay. Then we're going to talk about this circle 7. The circle 7. Oh, goodness. My phone wants to go the way it wants to go. As you know that during, okay, the circle 7, which is another one. So this is our third one. As you know that during the time, the Hebrew children, when they were put in the fiery furnace to be destroyed, and when the king asked the attendants of the furnace, that was Abednego, what was their names? Malachi, Abednego. It was the three boys. Dang, I used to know their names for sure, for sure. But anyway, as you know that during the time the Hebrew children, when they were put in the fiery furnace to be destroyed, and when the king asked the attendants of the furnace, were the Hebrew children destroyed? And the attendant said, it doesn't seem like it. The fire is doing them, doesn't seem like the fire is doing them any harm. And the king advised the attendant to heat the furnace 7 times hotter. And he himself wanted to look and see if the fire had consumed them or not. And so the furnace was heated 7 times hotter. And when the king pulled the furnace door open, the king, in amazement, cried out with a loud voice and said, You all put in 3, but behold, I see 4. Prophet Noble Drew Ali said, I was the 4th man standing in the furnace. The 7 represents the 7 creative spirits known to man as Elohim. The 7 is Jesus of Nazareth number. He's known as the Logos, or the circle 7. Right? So I go and ask. I want to ask ChatGPT too. I'm like, I want to know what Chat got to say about this. What does ChatGPT has to say about this circle 7? Explain the circle 7. Well, the term circle 7 can refer to a few different things depending on the context. Here are a few possibilities. Dante's Inferno. In Dante's Alighieri's epic poem, Divine Comedy, the 7th circle of Hell is a place of violence. It's divided into 3 Bogias pockets. The Bogia 1 is the violent against their neighbors. Bogia 2 is the violent against themselves. Bogia 3 is the violent against God, nature, and art. 2, Circle 7 animation. This was a short-lived division of Walt Disney feature animation that specialized in computer-generated imagery. CGI animation. Circle 7 Quran. This is a sacred text of the Moorish Science Temple of America, a religious organization founded in the early 20th century. Circle 7 Ranch. This is a chain of restaurants and bars in St. Louis. This Circle 7 has been used a lot, right? So then I asked, well, what does it represent? It says the 7 inside can have different meanings depending on the context. Here are a few interpretations of this 7. Perfection and completion. In many spiritual traditions, the number 7 is considered as a sacred number, representing completeness and perfection. The circle, a universal symbol, can represent eternity, wholeness, and the cycle of life. Divine wisdom. The combination of the circle and the number 7 can symbolize divine wisdom, knowledge, and the interconnectedness of all things. The Moorish Science Temple of America. In this religious organization, the Circle 7 is a sacred text. The symbol likely represents the spiritual teachings and principles of the organization. Right? So there's other interpretations of it. There's a mathematical and geometrical. The number 7 can be related to various mathematical and geometric concepts. The circle being a perfect geometric shape can represent order, harmony, and balance. That compass, again, keeping you in the bounds of righteousness with that compass, that circle. Cultural and historical. In some cultures, the number 7 has specific symbolic meanings. For example, in Chinese culture, the number 7 is associated with good luck and fortune. And so the meaning could vary depending on the context and the individual's interpretation. But we know what the 7 means to us, and even ChatGPT can reference it back. So here we go, tracing ourselves back. Thus we know. And even from the way it's explained to us as one of our wonders of the world, when you were looking at what the prophet said about it, you could see that. You could go and look at Abednego, Malachi, was it Belshazzar? Who was in the furnace? I wish somebody could tell me who was in the furnace. The three young men in the furnace, three Hebrew brothers in the furnace. Even as he broke that down, like you could see this. This is how the prophet keeps tracing us back, and thus we know. Masterminds can do such. The next is the Fez. I love the Fez. Fez, figure 7, or they'll call it a figure 1, which is known as figure 1 and is on the charter because its top part represents 360 degrees of infinite wisdom, and the bottom, which fits on your head, represents 300 degrees of finite wisdom. The tassels, which is on the Fez, represents the major battles that we have had with Satan coming down through the Himalayas Mountains into the present North, South, and Central America. So if you could count the strands in the tassel, you'll have some idea of the battles we fought. And the last major battle we fought was the War of 1812 in Battle Creek, Michigan. And the brother was fighting the war. Name was Brother T. Compati Bay. I'm not sure if this is the person, but this is what I've gotten from elders that were taught through Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder, and reincarnated. So the spirit continued to teach. So this is an elder. I sit at his feet. So whether that's the name, not sure. You know, you may agree, you may disagree. Some people may agree with this, some may not agree with it. But I'm just making sure I can trace me back and see where I can see where this has been, and this is really something that has been there. Islam. Yes, and his brother by his mother and father, who was in the battle with him, and was so upset over his brother being destroyed that he predicted that every president of the United States would take on office on a year ending with 0, would either get up out of here or be getting up out of here. And that prediction has remained from that time of 1812 until the present day. And as you know, somebody tried to take out our president of today. So I was, from the way I was taught about the Fez, and I was taught even about wisdom, having 360 degrees of finite wisdom and another 360 degrees of infinite wisdom. But infinite wisdom cannot be obtained if you still stay on a lower vibration. You won't reach that infinite wisdom state if you continue to want to, stay in the finite wisdom part. You want to stay there. And it's not easy to take on the infinite part, right? It's not as easy because it's something that you're fighting. You don't want to do it. You're fighting up against it. So that's pretty much, this is your choice too. If you will want to raise your thoughts to infinite wisdom. Back to the highest plane of life with your Father God Allah. If not, then it's a choice. This is why Allah gives us all free will to do what we have free will. We can act on it. We can act on free will all the time. Islam. So that's what is on the charter of that wonder of the world. We're going to I asked ChatGPT, of course. The Fez is a distinctive type of hat. It's called a hat, right? Typically red and cylindrical with a flat top and a tassel. This is a flat top and a tassel. It's associated with several cultures and historical periods. The Ottoman Empire, the Fez was popularized during the Ottoman Empire and became a symbol of Ottoman identity. It was worn by various classes, including government officials, military personnel, and civilians. North Africa and the Middle East. The Fez is still worn in some parts of North Africa and the Middle East, particularly by older men or as part of a traditional attire. It is often associated with Islamic culture and heritage. It also has a fraternal organization. In some Western countries, the Fez is worn by members of fraternal organizations, like the Shriners and the Elks. It is often seen as a symbol of tradition, camaraderie, and philanthropy. While the Fez has a rich history and cultural significance, its popularity has declined over the years. However, it remains recognizable and iconic piece of headwear. So we can't let that get lost in history because we're not walking around with things that were for us. That's why I say the wonders of the world, how quick we are to marvel of the wonders of the world that have nothing to do with our people. But we actually have things that have been left here forever, for ages and ages, for us to go back and see and pick up and know that we're connected to that we're connected, right? That we are truly connected to that. Now let's talk about this camel. Because after I come out of these 10 wonders of the world, we're going to go into chapter 19. Is it 29? 29. 19. One of them. 29. My apologies. So the Bactrian camel, figure 9, represents, because this is the ninth. Because I didn't do the pyramid. I did do the pyramid. Hold on. Let me go back to the pyramid. The pyramid was built by our forefathers, and it carries a secret chamber that no one enter unless he or she is a master of earth, air, fire, and water. The prophet said he had to go down 500 feet, mastering Mother Earth, air, and water, and came up in the pyramids in the secret chambers. And that's when the sages of the ages asked him, what is he seeking? And his reply was, I'm seeking for the solution to solve the problem of a sin-sick nation. And they told him the secrets and put on his back the stripes so that the outside world would know that he had visited the secret chambers of the pyramid. I already told you, we talked about the pyramids. We talked about that being one of the wonders of the ancient wonder of the world, right? We talked about that being the ancient wonder of the world. So then we're going to so we already talked about the pyramid at first, the pyramids of Giza. Broke that down, can trace ourselves back there. So there we go. So we're at number 9, which is our camel, Bactrian camel. It's figure 9. Did I say what? Okay. All right, here we go. Figure 9 represents endurance. So our 9th wonder of the world, endurance. As you know, a camel can drink water on one side of the sandy desert and don't drink no more until he has reached the other side of the sandy desert. So the faithful Moors who have endured the whiplash of slavery, the marks of Negro, black, and colored, can truly read the 3rd chapter and the 12th verse of the book of Revelation. So we're going to go 3rd chapter, 12th verse of Revelation. Now, this is where I'm being led from these instructions. That's why we must follow the instructions. Because I think we just want to follow what we think is all right for us, and we're really not following the instructions that be laid out to us. Okay. He said go to Revelation chapter 3, verse 12. Revelation 3, verse 12. What does it say? Revelation chapter 3, verse 12. It's in red, so it means someone's speaking. Speaking are we? Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God, and the name of the city of my God, which is New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. Islam, it always talks about this new name. Even further down, when it talks about that new name will be written on this white stone. That new name will be written on this white stone. So he takes us back there so that we can even confirm, even through that, through the word, through the Bible. Yes, okay. Book of the Revelations. I'm ready to be made a pillar in the temple of my God. For they can say, Hallelujah, it is done. They can say it is done. That's that Bactrian camel. That's the representation. That's a wonder of the world. Been here forever. So the two-hump camel, also known as the Bactrian camel, is a hardy, adaptable animal native to the cold, dry regions of Central Asia. Its two humps are a distinctive feature that sets it apart from single-humped dromedary camel. The humps are primarily used to store fat, which serves as a valuable energy reserve. When food and water are scarce, the camel's body can mobilize this stored fat to provide energy and water. This adaptation allows the Bactrian camel to survive in harsh environments with limited resources. In addition to their fat storage function, the humps also help regulate the camel's body temperature in cold weather. The humps can help to insulate the camel, while in hot weather, they can help to dissipate heat. The Bactrian camel's ability to store fat and regulate its body temperature makes it well suited to its harsh environment. It is a valuable animal for transportation as well as a source of milk, meat, and wool. We can trace ourselves back to this same camel, Islam. The ancient camel that once roamed North America is known as the Camelops. It lived during the Pleistocene epoch, which ended about 11,700 years ago. While it may seem surprising that camels once lived in North America, the continent was once home to a diverse range of now extinct creatures, including mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant ground sloths. Camelops, with its distinctive hump and long legs, was well adapted to arid environments of the time. Unfortunately, like many other large mammals of the Pleistocene era, camelops became extinct. Climate change and human hunting are believed to have contributed to its demise. I wanted to talk about these key characteristics of these Egyptian pyramids too before I go to the last wonder of the world, which has to do with our prophet, Noble Drew Ali. The key characteristics of ancient Egyptian pyramids: purpose, primarily used as tombs for pharaohs and their queens, symbolizing their journey to the afterlife. The construction, built with massive stone blocks, often weighing several tons, precisely cut and fitted together. The orientation, aligned with the cardinal directions, particularly the north-south axis. Internal structure, contained intricate passageways, chambers, and shafts leading to the burial chamber. External features, smooth, flat sides that meet at a point, create a pyramid shape. Other civilizations with pyramids: the Mesoamerican pyramids, found in cultures like the Maya, Aztec, and Inca. These pyramids often served as temples, platforms for religious ceremonies, and burial sites. The Sudanese pyramids, located in the ancient kingdom of Kush. These pyramids are influenced by Egyptian pyramid building techniques. Nubian pyramids, similar to the Egyptian pyramids. These were built in the region of Nubia, now part of Sudan. The construction of these monumental structures is a testament to the engineering and architectural skills of ancient civilizations. They continue to fascinate and intrigue people today, offering insights into the beliefs, customs, and technological advancements of the past. Islam. Oh, I forgot the lion and the lamb. I almost forgot the lion and the lamb. Oh, man. Man, I almost forgot the lion and the lamb. Okay, we got to go back to the lion and the lamb and the hand press. Got the lion and the lamb and the hand press. I talked about the Sphinx. The answer, okay, let's go to the lion and the lamb. The answer to figure 4 is found in the Holy Quran in chapter 46. The prophet said that the lion represents the rulers and the lamb is the poor people, and they are going to lie down together. If one either, wait, lie down together. If one will have to be under the earth and the other on top. The Sphinx. The Sphinx is the fifth wonder of the world. The prophet said that the Sphinx was put there as a monumental evidence that Allah's prophet is on earth, and if there will be anyone on earth who say he is a prophet, the Sphinx will sink. When Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he was a messenger of Allah, according to records, the Sphinx sunk 2 inches. So I'm going to go to where I asked about the lion and the lamb and the sphinx. I think because this came up after I was already in looking at the wonders and I was skipping around them. That's what happened. All right, so the lion and the lamb is a powerful symbol in Christianity theology, representing the dual nature of Jesus, both a powerful king and a sacrificial lamb. Symbol of power and authority, the lion. The lion is often associated with strength, courage, and royal authority. Jesus is king. In this context, the lion represents Jesus as the King of Kings, the ultimate ruler and judge, conqueror of sin and death. The lion symbolizes Jesus' victory over sin and death through his resurrection. The lamb, symbol of innocence and sacrifice. The lamb is traditionally associated with gentleness, innocence, and sacrifice. Jesus is Savior. The lamb represents Jesus as a sacrificial lamb who died for the sins of humanity. Humility and service. The lamb also symbolizes humility, service, and selflessness. The lion and the lamb together. The combination of the lion and the lamb highlights the paradoxical nature of Jesus. He is both a mighty king and a humble servant, both a fierce warrior and a gentle redeemer. This imagery is particularly prominent in the book of Revelations, where Jesus is described as the lion of the tribe of Judah and the lamb who was slain. This offers hope and comfort, promising a future where peace, justice, and love will reign supreme. It inspires believers to emulate Jesus' example, combining strength with compassion, power with humility, and justice with mercy. Traces us back once again. The Sphinx is a mythical creature with a lion's body, a human head. The concept of Sphinx has roots in both Egyptian and Greek mythology, although the two cultures have different interpretations. The Egyptian Sphinx, guardian deity. In Egyptian mythology, the Sphinx has a guardian deity, often depicted with a man's head and a lion's body, symbol of power and protection. The Sphinx was associated with the pharaohs and was believed to protect tombs and temples. Most famous example, the Great Sphinx of Giza, located near the pyramids of Giza, is one of the most iconic examples of Egyptian Sphinx. There's a Greek Sphinx, mythical creature in Greek mythology. The Sphinx was a winged creature with a woman's head, a lion's body, and bird's wings. Guardians of Thebes. The Sphinx guarded the entrance of the city of Thebes and posed a riddle to travelers. Those who couldn't answer the riddle were taken out. They were unalived. Oedipus and the riddle. The legendary hero, Oedipus, was able to solve the Sphinx riddle, leading to its demise. Despite the differences in their depictions, both Egyptian and Greek sphinxes share a common theme of power, mystery, and guardianship. They continue to fascinate and intrigue people today, symbolizing the enduring power of myth and legend. The wonders of the world. The Sphinx the Sphinx always been something I've been attracted to anyway. Before I learned even about the Tree of Life, just as a child, I used to be attracted to it. Even in the Wiz, like even when I think of the Lion and the Lamb in the Wiz, and in the Wiz when the lion is he's sitting on the in the front of that big old building, like in gold. But then of course he breaks out and he's a cowardly lion, because within he's really shown, how cowardly he is. He looks strong on the outside, but truly a coward on the inside. But it reminds, I always used to think of the Sphinx from that. That just always would be on my mind with the Sphinx when I would think of the lion on the Wiz. So, the Sphinx, we could trace ourselves back to that. A wonderful marvel of the world. Wonderful. These are the wonderful wonders of the world, and we should marvel over these things, not the things that they place in front of us that take us away, that sends us to our demise. Like he said, he figured out even the riddle to the Sphinx, and that's where the demise of the Sphinx, that's what happened, There's a hand press, which means that we have linked our hands back to the family of nations, being a member of a nation, which means that we need to prepare ourselves to have a representative in the United Nations now. But it will not be the United Nations until I get there. When I get there, it will be the United Nations. So let's prepare ourselves to get there. more, let's prepare ourselves. We should be standing in the affairs of man, not complaining about what man is doing, but standing in the affairs of man so we could be a part of the change. Because that change is here. I just played Sam Cooke for y'all in the beginning. That change is here. A change is going to come. The change is already here. If you're still vibrating on that lower vibration, then you can't catch the change. You won't see the change because you didn't catch the change. But the change has already occurred. The change has already shifted. And if you find yourself still in that lower vibration, that's just you operating in this 2D. You're operating in a 3D dimension with a two-dimensional body. You're causing yourself to be too heavy to rise to the occasion. So even when people are talking of these things out of this world or out of your thought process of the world, it becomes maybe spooky to you. But no, it's time for us to raise our thoughts to infinite thoughts, back to the highest plane of life with our Father God Allah. Not to continue to keep our minds in a low vibrating stage. This is why we come into this information, so we can raise up. And the 10th wonder of the world. The most mean, man, I love this one. You will find the prophet standing with a red ball of fire behind him, with his Moorish attire, war garbs on, and he said, I came just in ahead of the fire to save you Moors from the wrath of Allah. Praise Allah, keep your trust in Allah, and hold on to Allah's unchanging hands. For Allah is leading on, and victory is sure. The wonders of the world. These are the wonders of the world. The wonders of the world. And in the conclusion of these wonders of the world, that we should be proud of, because it traces us back to who we are. It traces us back so we can see our remnants that still reigns across these nations and this land. We can still see. We're still able to connect ourselves back to this. So in closing, I wanted to come out of chapter 29. That was it. Yeah, 29. And this is one that we were told to read. We were told to read the 5th chapter, study the 5th chapter, the 5th chapter, the 25th chapter, the 27th chapter, the 28th chapter, and the 29th chapter. And so 29 is very important. And I feel like even to the wonders of the world, it's important because it's about magistrate and subject. Okay? And talking about, so when we get into these wonders of the world, where we can trace ourselves back and how we're raising our thoughts to infinite wisdom. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 29. Holy instructions from the prophet, magistrate, and subject. If you want to look at it, we can look at it as our government. O thou, or the selection of a ruler, if you want to look at that from that point. O thou, the favorite of heaven, whom the sons of men, thy equals, have agreed to raise to sovereign power and set as a ruler over themselves. Consider the ends and importance of their trust, far more than the dignity and height of thy station. Thou art clothed in purple and seated on a throne. The crown of majesty invested thy temples. The scepter of power is placed in thy hand, but not for thyself were these ensigns given, not meant for thy own, but for the good of thy kingdom. Ensigns mean flags, like these flags. So even we have our Moorish flag, which is the red flag with the 5-pointed green star in the center, each point representing our 5 principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We have our white flag with our red crescent, moon, and star in the center. That's it in the center of that flag. We also have the United States flag, or the American flag, the American flag, which is one of our flags too. So these ensigns were not meant for our own, but for the good of thy kingdom. They were meant for the good of the kingdom. The glory of a king is the welfare of his people. His power and dominion rest on the hearts of his subjects. The mind of a great prince is exalted with the grandeur of his situation. He evolveth high things and searcheth for business worthy of his power. He calleth together the wise men of his kingdom. He consulteth among them with freedom and heareth the opinions of them all. You know, the prophet, there were 15, he had 15 states set up with temples back then. So he called together the wise men of his kingdom, as much as he thought they were as wise, and he consulted among them with freedom. And he heareth the opinions of them all. He didn't hear the opinions of some of them, he heard the opinions of them all. He looketh among his people with discernment. He discovereth the abilities of men and employeth them according to their merits. His magistrates are just, his ministers are wise, and the favorite of his bosom deceiveth him not. So as Prophet Noble Drew Ali even set these temples up and place people in place, because that's what this is about. This is not about you being someone being over you. This is about each one of us getting out here, learning how to run a meeting, learning how to help our people, learning how to to help aid in teaching the information. Because we may be teaching it, everyone's not going to get it from the way that you teach it. So, you know, we still need to be out here doing our part, because everyone has a part to play. That's why he says his magistrates are just, his ministers are wise, and the favorite of his bosom deceiveth him not. Because it says imitate I the prophet. It doesn't say imitate I anyone else. It says imitate I the prophet. So in imitating the prophet is more of these things going on. He smileth on the arts, and they flourish. The sciences improve beneath the culture of his hand. With the learned and ingenuous, he delighteth himself. He kindleth in their breasts emulation, and the glory of his kingdom is exalted by their labors. The spirit of the merchant who extendeth his commerce, the skill of the farmer who enriches his lands, the ingenuity of the artist, the improvements of the scholar, all these he honored with his favor, or rewarded with his bounty. He planted new colonies. He builded strong ships. He openeth rivers for convenience. He formeth harbors for safety. His people abound in riches, and the strength of his kingdom increases. This is why we have 10 wonders of the world. Because you can go back and you can look at these things where the colonies and the strong ships, even when I was talking about the lighthouse, if you go back and look at that lighthouse and look how those waters were coming into these ports. This is why I wanted to end with chapter 29. He formeth harbors for safety. His people abound in riches, and the strength of his kingdom increases. He frameth his statutes with equity and wisdom. Remember, like you can still see the remnants of a lot of the things that are ancient. Other things have been burned up. You can't find it. But our stuff has been saved. It's been, he frameth the statutes with equity and wisdom. His subjects enjoy the fruits of their labor and security, and their happiness consists in the observance of the law. We need to be able to see all these things so we know what to follow. Imitate I the prophet. Imitate him in every way. He founded his judgments on the principles of mercy, but in the punishment of offenders, he is strict and impartial. His ears are open to the complaints of his subjects. He restraineth the hands of their oppressors, and he delivereth them from their tyranny. His people, therefore, look up to him as a father, with reverence and love. They consider him as the guardian of all they enjoy. Their affection unto him begetteth in his breast as a love of the public. The security of their happiness is the object of his care. This is why it's important that leaders, no matter if you're a minister, a sheik, a grant, whatever you are, is very important. That right in here, I'm going to go back up. His people, therefore, look up to him as a father with reverence and love. They consider him as the guardian of all they enjoy. People look up to you for this. As leaders, as people that are leading these temples and these different organizations, they're looking up to a lot of you men as fathers. So you have to show up in a way, show up in the right way. Their affection unto you begetteth in his breast the love of the public. The security of their happiness is the object of your care. If you care, no murmurs against him arise in their hearts. The machinations of his enemies endanger not the state. No murmurs will arise in someone's heart if you're really, it's coming from that place of love. It won't. because there's nothing that they can really say, because you've been coming from the place of love. How can they say anything against it or anything down on you if you've just shown up like that? His subjects are faithful and firm in his cause. They stand in his defense as a wall of brass. The army of a tyrant fleeth before them as a chaff before the wind. Yes, the army of a tyrant fleeth. They don't want to be around you. But if you really are a good person, your subjects will stay faithful and stay firm in their cause. Stay firm in your cause. Stay firm, stand firm, and they'll stand in defense as a wall of brass because you're worth that. Security and peace bless the dwelling of his people, and glory and strength encircleth his throne forever. This is who we look for when we're looking for leaders, when we're looking to place a government or anything, or someone to be over us in a temple, or to open a temple, if it's our grand sheik or whatever it is. We need to be coming from this right here, from this magistrate and subject, if that's what you're looking for. So I talked about these wonders of the world because we were left 10 wonders of the world that we can always trace ourselves back, and they come from the ancient world. All of them come from an ancient time that we can marvel over and we can be proud of, so we can celebrate these things that really were meant for us, not celebrating things that were always for the demise of who we are, always a way to pull us down and away from what is supposed to be. So we have to go back and check these things. We have to go back and start researching and studying and going seeing these things and being a part. Go visit the mounds. Go see what those are. Like, literally, it's so much we can marvel over. It's so much here, even in today's present North America. So much is still here. So much you can still go see. So much history you can still dig up. Because truth never changes or passes away. It never changes or passes away. It will always be there. And now is the time, as I said, the change has come. So the truth is only being exposed more and more. But take it upon yourself to research for that truth too. Don't just take it for face value, because so many organizations, different things, people have come and told you things. Then when you find out they're not true, your feelings are hurt because you were taking that person's word as face value, just like it says in the magistrate and servant, magistrate and subject. So, start taking that upon yourself to search for self and being, so you can confirm it for yourself. So even when you hear it, if you hear someone speaking on it, they can't deter you into falsehood, because you've done your due diligence, you've done the research on it, and you can see for yourself what it is and how it actually, let me say this, how it resonates with you. Because even as I talked about these dreams, that these dreams are given to you from on high. This is a connection. You are, if I could say, you are traveling and you're experiencing these things. So these dreams are from on high. But you have to understand, when you're given the gift of those things and clairvoyancy and all these different gifts that we were given, they're turned up 7 times more. It's like being in the furnace. But in this furnace, as the heat gets hotter and as we're being surrounded by our prophet, our prophets make sure we're safe. You know what I'm saying? Because Allah's hand never changes. Never changes. So it's only getting hotter in here because it's time to get busy. It's been time to get busy. But now that heat, if it's burning you, that's because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. And the prophet stood in front of the fire for as long as he could. And he stepped away at this point. So that same depiction, that wonder of the world, that 10th one, when I spoke about the prophet, and he said he's been standing in front of that fire holding it back. Well, he stepped away. So it's even hotter. So, it's it's been time to raise our thoughts to infinite wisdom. So I trust that that's what you've been doing, and that's what your studies have been on. Because no more is it about convincing. No more is well, nobody was ever convincing, but the information and trying to teach it, it's not. You can't anymore. It falls on deaf ears at this point. You either got it or you don't. So, but we still have to be out here and teaching it for those that are still, they're in the rim of catching it, and they want this. They want this. They know their condition can be better. They don't just think it, they know it, and they want to work toward making it better. So shout out to all of those out there, all of the Moors out here, whether you're on TikTok with a study group, Facebook with a study group, wherever you are, in your home with a study group, wherever you are doing your diligence, doing the work of the prophet and imitating the prophet, continue to do your thing and don't let no one stop you from doing it. Just do it in the correct way. Represent in the correct way. Represent the prophet in the correct way. Because the prophet wasn't out here causing confusion. The prophet was not out here causing confusion amongst people. To me, that all came when whatever was left to those that didn't appreciate what he left them. And they took it and they tore it up. Well, tried to, because you can't tear this up. It'll tear you up. But they tried their best to destroy it, not realizing that there were going to be a group of Moors that were going to come and not allow it to be destroyed, like some of these wonders of the world. We cannot allow our wonders of the world to be destroyed. So if that meant the matriarch coming back to save our wonders of the world, well, we're back to save our wonders of the world. If that means we must be the lion and the lamb, well, I guess that must be what we must be as the mothers. The mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. The higher self. The higher self has to come take over. So this is the time we're in. And I'm so grateful to be able to have shared this time with you today. And I trust that you enjoy the rest of your day. But marvel over your own wonders of the world. Stop marveling over their wonders of the world and the things that they place in front of you that only send you to a demise of who you are. It's just the fall once again. And we have to stop the fall. And you have the ability to stop the fall. So stop the fall. We have the Taste of Africa coming March 22nd. You will start seeing some things rolling out. We're going to have a talent show. So we're looking for artists. If you're in the Atlanta area and you would like to be a part of this talent show, we are also going to be doing the best dressed African attire. Whoever comes in their best dressed African garb, Moorish garb, however you want to call it, we are going to do a contest with that for this Taste of Africa. The Taste of Africa is to connect us back so we go back. Because even in our laws, he says we're descendants. And we are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. We are the same people. So we have to connect ourselves back, because when you go back and look at ancient Pangea and you look at how we were connected, we were one. So we got to go, we here have to go back and relearning our culture and how we're connected and the foods and all of this, so we can we can all be self-sufficient, sustaining for one another. Going back to what our ancient wonders of the world were, even when it was to growing food and taking care of each other. That's where we're back at now. So these are the things that the Taste of Africa will be presenting. We got workshops coming and everything for you. So look out for the Taste of Africa if you're interested in becoming a speaker, if you would like to do some spoken word. Any part of the talent show is music, spoken word, dance. Make sure it's positive, because this is all about positivity. We're uplifting humanity, so nothing that's going to be demising and tearing anyone down, but things that are uplifting, things you want to bring to the community. Truth spoken. That's what we're looking for. The truth speakers. Um, and also, like I said, the contest of the best dressed in African attire, feminine, female and male, like both man and women. So yes, we'll be having that. We're looking for restaurants that would like to be noticed and acknowledged. We're looking for different restaurants, whether you African food, Caribbean food, any kind of cultural food, Mexican food, anything that brings us back together culturally. We're looking for all of that, because we're all tied in, as I was saying earlier, as you read in our Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, and it talks about our brethren and who we are and where we come from. You know what I'm saying? We're the possessors of the present Moroccan Empire with our Canaanite, Hittite, Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan. The dominion and habitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across the great Atlantis, even into the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands before the great earthquake, right? It also says in the divine origin of the Asiatic nation. This is why we have to bring this together, and this is why the Taste of Africa is so important. The divine origin of the Asiatic nation, or the angel nation. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 45. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of America need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know of their higher self and their lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for the teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations, the Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca. The Egyptians, who were the Hammatites, and of a direct descendant of Mizraim. The Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese. The Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites, and Moabites from the land of Canaan. The Asiatic nations and countries of North, South, Central, and Central America. The Moorish Americans and the Mexicans of North America, Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America, Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador in Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims. The Turks are the true descendants of Hagar, who are the chief protectors of the Islamic creed of Mecca, beginning from Muhammad I, the founder of the uniting of Islam, by the command of the great universal God Allah. That even traces us back. That traces us back where this is where we are. This is where we come from. We can always trace ourselves back. The Taste of Africa is important for that reason. March 22nd, it's coming. We will have speakers. So it's lecture, music, food, all of these things. The tickets are $20. We're looking for vendors. We're probably not going to have more than 4 vendors, to be honest, because we want to start making an impact with vendors. With vendors, we want to start making it to where the vendors can come and make money, not to where you got 15 vendors and 5 of them got the same thing. We want to be able to give 4 vendors a chance to really be able to build a brand and build a connection with the community. So every time that we have these Taste of Africas, it may be 4 different vendors. Most likely it will be 4 different vendors that we will choose from each time, because we really want to start teaching economics and how to keep our money, how to keep it circulating within us for a certain amount of time before it leaves our community. We have to practice that. But by having a bunch of vendors at one time, from the times that I've been doing these events and helping people set up events, it doesn't do any good with a bunch of them. It doesn't. Because if you can't pull the crowd big enough to sustain the vendors and help the vendors out, then it's like a waste of time. So 4 vendors tops that we will have for the Taste of Africa, so that we can help our people, our brothers and sisters, to really start building their businesses up on a branding level, so that it really becomes something that is long term. It's not just like a one-time thing. They see you one time. Now we have to put a plan behind this and how to do it. So that's how we will be doing the Taste of Africa. We have some more amazing events coming up. We're planning a R&B brunch and bingo on the farm when it gets warmer outside. So that should be really fun. Um, yeah, just check out, watch out for us, the things we have going on and coming up. A few things that we will be doing on the farm. I think it's coming up too. They have some stuff coming up for the farm where they're always looking for volunteers that can come and help, do some things. So yes, I trust that y'all have a good day today. Don't eat too much if that's what you're doing, but enjoy your day and peace and love. We will see y'all on the flip side. Have a good day. Our meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another. Standing on our square, repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali, Amen. Islam, Islam.